Hola from the west side. It is me, DCThePurpleDiva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Saturday night, y'all. What a day. For those of you who were around earlier today for my afternoon pop-up, thanks for coming through. And if you would like to see it, please go to my community tab and click on the link in my community tab because YouTube is still processing it. And the only way to see it is to go through my community tab. However, I don't know, because I went to my other account and I could see it. But when I go through, my DCThePurpleDiva, I don't see the video. It says it's still processing. But I did that one directly through YouTube. No StreamYards involved. And, I talked about Robert Fuller. Talked about Dave Chappelle doing his speech. It was Dave Chappelle comedy, but unfortunately, it really wasn't anything to laugh about. He was just giving his spiel about all the stuff that's going on, that he's been saying all along. He's been saying it all along. So let me go out of here and I'm going to share my live stream because I know they don't give out the lot of stuff. Let me just let everybody know. So I'm putting it out there for y'all so people can see that I'm live. There we go, because sometimes YouTube does not tell people. They really don't. Share that on my Twitter. I'll be trying, y'all. Alright, so I've shared it everywhere. Let me see. I'm going to share it. Yeah, we good. Yeah, on Instagram, I don't know how to share it. Well, there's no way to really share it on Instagram. Other than letting them know to come back and look at it on the replay. Anyway, I hope everybody is enjoying this evening. I got kind of hot and heated today because of all of this craziness going on in regards to this young man who should not have lost his life and who did not hang himself. I'm going to say this over and over again. I will not believe that Robert Fuller of Palmdale hung himself from a tree. That young man didn't do that to himself. And shame on the police department up there for putting that stuff out there. So today they had thousands protesting in Palmdale. Didn't I tell y'all this wasn't going to stop? I told y'all this wasn't going to stop. You know why it's not going to stop? Because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop killing our men, our young people, until something's really done about it. And unfortunately, right now, the protests are nice, but that's not doing anything other than, continuing to keep it out there and relevant. But some laws have to change. The way the police departments run have to change. The way the judicial system runs has to change. I was listening to another a channel a little while ago who's on live. Shouts out to Storm Monroe. And he was talking about it. Talking about the police. Talking about, that the way that we have the police today is not the way that it's all been. That's a newer concept. And I'll say part of the unfortunate thing about this is that in many people who are not Blacks' mind, the police are there to protect them first. And unfortunately, in many officers' minds, they may be thinking the same thing. But thousands of people were up in Palmdale, California today because this boy's family wants answers. We not stupid. Ain't nobody believing that crazy suicide story. He hung himself from the tree. Give me a not in 2020. Not in 2020. We not believing that. Hey, Darren. These people are out of their freaking minds. Hate crimes are not going to continue to go unnoticed, are not going to continue to go as, oh, this person did this to themselves. Now, good and damn well, that boy did not hang himself from a tree. He was helped up to that tree. So y'all thinking this stuff just happens in the South. Nah, it does not. I told y'all earlier today, the largest KKK rally in U.S. history was in Santa Clarita, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from Palmdale. Hey, Crystalla. A hop, skip, and a jump. And keep in mind that if we Black folk are only 13% of the entire United States population, that means we're a minority in every place we are. And let me assure you that Palmdale, California is not predominantly Black. I told you why there are Black people out there. Because by California standards, it's cheaper to be able to be in a house and not an apartment. So families move out there. And the schools out there are a little bit better than down here in Los Angeles County, if they were in LAUSD. Sorry, not sorry. And I have friends who are LAUSD teachers, but it is what it is. And that area, yeah, there's Latinos out there, there's Blacks out there, but everywhere except for urban areas in this county, there's more of them than there is of us. And whether you believe it or not, racial relations out in that area are not good. There's already been an incident with a Black autistic child out there in one of those school districts and them acting stupid. I spoke on it. And they saw him as a problem. Not because he had autism, but because he was Black and had autism. Okay. So they don't have a real good image of us out there. So am I surprised that this young man was hung from a tree? Yes, I am, because it is 2020. But I'm even more surprised by them saying that he hung himself. Is there a suicide note? Can you show it to us? How did y'all come to this conclusion that this was a suicide? What evidence do you have that this was a suicide? That this man went and hung himself from this tree? It's irritating. I'm not saying that it was police officers involved in this, but this is once again an area where a Black life doesn't matter, because they're just ruling it off as suicide and moving on, not going out to find out what the hell happened with this boy. But the family is not going to let that happen. Thousands of people were out there. Thousands of people were out there. This is getting coverage, and it should be. This is what the death of George Floyd has done. They're not going to be able to keep sweeping these killings of Black people under the rug. And we know that this young man was murdered. And to me, it looks like a hate crime. Something that eerily you would see in the South. That we've seen pictures of. It breaks my heart that as we're going through this, as we as a world are trying to put a spotlight on the fact that Black American lives matter, we are constantly seeing more and more of them taken. It sickens me. It sickens me. It really, really does. I mean, I am, because I have a Black son. I have a Black son. And I shouldn't be afraid for my child, but I am. My adult child. Because what they see is a Black man. They fear our sons. They fear our sons. And my son is, well over 6 feet. And though you can look at his face and see he's clearly innocent and everything, that can be a little intimidating. That can be a little intimidating. If something happens, our kids are seen as criminals immediately. Immediately. Without a thought. If we're pulled over, if we're stopped, all of us, whenever we see a police car, even when we are law-abiding citizens, we don't want to be near it. We avoid them as Black people. We avoid them. And now we have the police chief in Atlanta. Someone said in the earlier chat, I don't know if they got fired or they quit. And then I was in someone's chat earlier who's in the ATL. They're talking about how it's causing chaos. Well, if they quit, why they quit? And if they were fired, why were they fired? I know that the mayor of the city, they're trying to put her under a lot of fire. Shouts out to my sorrow. But I believe she's trying to do what's right. They stepped down, so they quit. Who shot at the police? Who shot at the police, Darren? Somebody shot at the police in the ATL? Wow. It's getting crazy there. I better check on my brother. You know, my brother lives in Atlanta. And he's a dark-skinned Black man standing at 6.5 feet. And he ain't no little man. Oh, wow. Somebody, he shot a policeman with a taser. Oh, this dude. Hey, Matt. But why does that mean? But see, here's my question. Why is the police chief stepping down in Atlanta in the middle of all of this? It's got to be going. It's got to be crazy in Atlanta right now. Y'all are across the room talking. Y'all know I'll be cooking late at night. Sorry. But I be cooking late at night. I be cooking late at night, y'all. I'm coming back. It's almost done, babe, okay? It's crazy. Okay, so Rashad was running from the cops. He turned around and aimed the cop's taser back at the cops. Boom. Cops blew him away. Ooh, this is getting bad, y'all. This getting bad. This is getting so bad. They want a war. They want a war. They want a war. I'm serious. That's what I'm saying. In the middle of all of this stuff that's going on, doing stuff like that is not going to make the protests, the marches, the demands about police reform and about doing away with police departments and taking money from them go away. You idiots. All you are doing is proving the freaking point. That's all you're doing. You're proving the point. He was wrong for pointing their taser at them. But they were also wrong for using deadly force. They didn't have to use deadly force. They could hit him with one of them quote unquote rubber bullets that they all walking around with. And so now the police chief has stepped down in the midst of all this. And this is just looking so bad for the city of Atlanta. I'm telling you, things are just erupting all over the country. These police are showing their ass. They're showing their ass. It ain't good at all. No chill at all. So Atlanta's on fire. Figuratively, I hope. But y'all, this makes me think about segregation. Back then when our parents were being hosed by police in the streets and everything, beat with batons for peaceful protesting. And now we're dealing with this mess. If they were trying to quiet down the sea, they have put us into a raging storm. We already dealing with the death of Ahmaud in the state of Georgia. Killed by a retired cop and his son. So now we got this in the ATL. Woo, the governor of Georgia gonna be busy. We gonna be watching you. Well, they need to fix how they're doing stuff in the ATL. They should not be, everything should not be about, shoot to kill. It should not always be shoot to kill. This is so crazy. Y'all, this is crazy. I mean, and we still dealing with COVID. Please don't think it's gone away. The death rate is starting to go back up. Now that's not even including, people who may have potentially spread it during the protests. And we're trying to open the country back up. People have been inside for months. Black people are angry. This is over 400 years of, anger that's in our DNA for everything, all the stuff that has been done to us. We can't get over it. And we should have never been asked to get over it. How can you get over something when y'all still are reminding us every day? Every day y'all remind us of where our ancestors were. Every day we remember that our ancestors were forcibly brought to this country. 242,000. I want y'all to think about it, because that's a small number out of the 1.5 million that was stolen from Africa. That's all that made it to this United States. Those are the ones we are the descendants of. Those are the people who dealt with so much BS just to stay alive. And unfortunately, the trauma that they went through is in our DNA. Who we are as a people is great, but they don't want us to feel that way. Some of us love who we are as Black people. We ache every time a Black man or Black young woman is murdered, especially if it's at the hands of police. Right or wrong, indifferent. They could have let this man live and put him in jail, take him to trial. Y'all remember that former police officer out here in LA, Christopher Dornan? Remember the one who did all the stuff, had the manifesto? He was ex-military. And they sent 400 officers after this man who was a police officer, who had done everything he thought the right way. Now, those of you who watched the Dave Chappelle special, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I was here when it happened. We saw the Facebook stuff. We saw all this stuff. And I personally know Black officers in the LAPD. It is not a fun ride for LAPD if you are Black and in LAPD. Most of them are surviving. I told y'all, Black officers, no matter what police department they're in, they go through the same stuff being part of the police. Only thing they don't suffer is the brutality, but they still deal with the racism, the stigma, all that stuff. And if they say something, they get fired, because that's what happened to this dude. And he flipped the F out and went after them other police officers and their freaking families. And this was one of their own. But he was a Black man first. And for those of you who don't know, like all of these Black men who have gone out and, done this military style shooting of police officers and everything, Dave Chappelle's very right about it. They're trained to kill terrorists. They see these police officers who are doing all of this stuff to our people as terrorists. And yet they continue to do it. Those officers in Atlanta had another choice. In the middle of all of that's going on, why would that be the first thing that they do? Shoot to kill. Why would that be the first freaking thing they do? I don't get it, y'all. Oh yeah, the Zulus, I'm telling you. I mean, we are see, here's the thing. Most African nations were warrior people. Even though most of them were. They fought for their, their territories. They didn't have it all split up the way it's split up now. Because it's not really split up the way these people are. You've got people from different tribes and different nations now. The way the Europeans did their colonization. But we are fighters, y'all. And sorry, I'm walking across here to finish putting this stuff together for the guys. We are freaking fighters. Our ancestors were fighters. There's no way that they would have made it through the Middle Passage. And these people, they have so much fear of us. These officers continue to killing our young men. This dude had a taser, y'all. He had a goddamn taser. What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture? I just don't get it. I don't get the way they're doing this. This stuff. I don't think that these officers give a F, y'all, because they have been led to believe that they can get away with all this stuff, so they gonna do what they do. They gonna do what they're doing. I'm on my way back over there, y'all. They gonna continue doing what they're doing, and in some of these places, they gonna get away with it, and it's gonna be hell to pay. It's gonna be hell to pay. Hell to pay. 1 second. Yeah, go. Sorry. Here you go. There you go. I'm back, y'all. Had to make sure these men folk had something. Hey, Adele. Hi, Adelina. I saw you earlier over in Storm's chat, but it was going so fast I wasn't able to say hi. Hey, Terry. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's part of the reason why, Africans in different nations are having issues with coming together, because some of them really aren't of the same nation, not historically. And then it always comes down to which one is more powerful. Then you have these Africans look down their noses at us because they're white-minded, as my girl Tanya TKO said. White-minded Africans, Nigerians specifically, who don't understand why we are the way we are, who think that, we have all these opportunities and everything, and we're not taking advantage of them. Well, let me just inform you people of something, which most of us well know, but, maybe they don't. The immigration law of 1965 came right after the, civil rights law of 1964. And it is on the backs of these ungrateful black people in America, you see, that you Africans are able to come over here and do all the things that you do. Don't get it twisted. Should something happen, you just black to them. You just another N-word. You are. Another Regin, as my mama said. That's what my mama called them. She calls them Regins. That was her way of not saying the N-word. It took me till I was almost a teenager to figure out that she was saying the word spelled backwards. She was saying the word spelled backwards. Yeah, I love Storm. You know, I know he gets a lot of heat and everything, but I like him. I liked him when he was, you know, in AZ before he went to Atlanta. And he's building up his little channel nicely. You know, he has his own style. Yeah, Adelina, what's if you look up the thing, Nkrumah Ture, he is one of Tasha K's original mods. And he now knows that even though he doesn't go into her chats very often, she still has him as a mod. So she remembered. And, you know, it's like, it's so funny because people think that I've only been on YouTube since last year, but I've only been a content creator since last year. I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years. I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years. Now, my first video on YouTube, I have made private, and before I go for monetization, I will have to delete it from this channel. I may upload it on my other channel, but I will have to delete it from this channel because it has copyrighted music in it. So it can't be in there. And it was the first video that I ever edited and made. And I made it for my mom's celebration of life when she died in 2011. And that's when I joined YouTube. I know that, Adelina. I know. People don't understand that. You got these people who trip off of being mods and, you know, and dog the people that are the mods in their channels, try to control people who are mods in their channels. But here's my thing. If somebody's a mod in my channel, most of the people who are mods in my channel are people who are supporters. They're my day ones, you know, and I know they're here to support me. I know that they're not gonna go on somebody else's channel and start allowing me to be attacked, because really I'm a small content creator, and who's gonna attack the autism mama? What am I doing over here? But still, they're not gonna be in, you know, in that kind of mess. And I'm not gonna be around here hunting them down to see whose channel they're in. I don't care, because we're all adults. Hey, Miss Mahogany. How are you, sis? And like for me, really, I started meeting people when I started really like talking in chats and stuff. And this is before I even decided to do content. Because shouts out to Jovi Beauty. She's the one who talked me into becoming a content creator. She's the one who talked me into it. Because she's like, you got something to talk about. I mean, being the mom of a now adult on the autism spectrum, I'm dealing with a whole bunch of stuff that, you know, and I have dealt with a whole lot of stuff that a lot of other people haven't dealt with before, but I can give them my wisdom on what I did and how dealt with certain things. And then also just tell them about, how I'm dealing with things like now, like the video that I've been editing all day, and it'll be out sometime tomorrow, y'all. Sorry, I still have to do the voiceover. On being Black and autistic and dealing with law enforcement. That's something that unfortunately I've had to do. Y'all know I was live when I had to deal with the law enforcement and my autistic son, because he called the police right when I was live here on YouTube. That live's still up. Back in November. We all remember that one. It was, yeah. So, can y'all imagine how, how that, now my house is tagged as someone with autism lives here. So if his number ever goes into the police department in my city again, they already know. That's that young man who has autism. But that was crazy. But that's why, that's another reason why I'm putting this up. Also, because I have a whole nother layer of stuff I have to deal with in my fears of law enforcement with my Black son, because he does have what they consider a disability. And he's not necessarily the most articulate, but we getting there. He's gonna be. Because I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get him to the point where he can save his own life. Thankfully, I do have a friend who works for the city that I live in, and who also has a adult son on the spectrum. Now, she doesn't live in this city, but she works for this city. And, as soon as this COVID stuff is over, we are talking about doing some stuff to bring some awareness, specifically, because I've reached out to her recently. That's the kind of stuff that I'm doing. I'm not just, talking the talk on YouTube. I'm not just, I'm not just about it on YouTube, y'all. Being on YouTube is just to get my message out to more people that don't live where I live. That's what it's about. One second, guys. I'm gonna put you guys on mute for just one moment. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to have a private conversation. Hey, 1SP. So now, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, I highly suggest you follow me on Instagram, because I post pictures on Instagram and stuff on Instagram that I'm not putting on YouTube. So I posted a picture today of me, since I don't come on camera all the time, but I did today. But I posted a picture on Instagram today because I was kind of feeling myself after I did the live. I done my hair all cute and stuff now. So I posted that on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram or request, because my Instagram's private, but it's DCThePurpleDiva on Instagram, and I will accept you. I just have it set to private. Sorry, but I was getting crazies, and this was before I was on YouTube. Thirst traps. And I ain't on that. Hey, Paranormal Voices. I haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you for jumping in just to say hi. It's been crazy, y'all. I got to start getting out here and start meeting more people. I love all the people that are my supporters now and that are in my family now. But I just feel like I need to meet to expose myself more on YouTube. And I'm not one of the people that's out here and been studying the algorithm to see how I can push my stuff up higher in the algorithm. But I guess I need to start doing that, so that we have legitimate stuff out there other than people like that woman that I did my vlog 51 on, who had a child on the spectrum. Not going to say her name right now. She's out here suing people for saying her name, crazy ass. But she exploited her autistic son. And I pray for that child now. And in my head, I hope that somehow somebody makes them take all the money that they got off of the views and everything that they got from this child and all the corporate sponsorship money that they got, and somehow gets it to that child, whose name I also won't say. But y'all, if you go back and look at vlog 51, y'all know who I'm talking about. You're gonna start wearing your merch. I'm getting ready to design some stuff, some t-shirts that I'm gonna put on Teesprings. And you know what? Somebody was telling me that I don't have to be monetized to look for corporate sponsors or find people that might want to sponsor my channel. I'm trying to get myself deeper into the autism community. So I'm really pushing to more channels. And when we get off of this, when we get more open and I'm able to, I'm going to go and have a chit chat, or possibly try to get myself an interview on Autism Live. And Autism Live is a YouTube channel that's about autism. And before all this stuff started, I had formed a relationship off of YouTube, because I met her off of YouTube with, the one who does the channel. And I'm going to reach out to her, and see if we can do that. Maybe we can do it even through Zoom, since that's how they're doing their YouTubes now. But I need to really push and get my channel out there as an autism mom, as an autism advocate, as a Black autism mom. Especially since I'm dealing with things from the adult perspective, on the spectrum. And they keep forgetting about our kids. And I'm just terrified, because police officers only going to see our kid as another Black child, another black man, And now, even though they're suggesting, many people are still wearing these masks, and they're going to be wearing these masks for a long time. It's going to be just difficult. because they're already suspicious of us. I'm telling you, I've had a police officer do a double take when I'm driving in my car, and I have my mask on. I'm in the car by myself, but hey, I have it on because I don't feel like pulling it on and off when I get out the car, because we're not trying to catch nothing over here. Not at all. This Karen had the nerve to say supporting Black businesses is reverse racism again. You know what, Mahogany? Let me just grab that. Very, very true. She's tripping. That woman's tripping. You know, if we were actually doing more supporting of Black businesses in the Black community, do you know how long our dollars would stay in our communities? And what kind of benefit that would have to our communities? Now, I know some of you may not have done the 2020 census, but please do it if you haven't already done it. It's more important than ever right now for them to see our numbers, to see how many of us there really are, so that we get services in our community. It's a real deal. It's a real deal. I have no problem. I mean, you guys, I've told y'all, all my doctors growing up, and even as an adult, have always been Black doctors. They were doctors that knew my dad. I only had a non-Black doctor during my pregnancy, and that was because of my insurance, which I hated. But yeah, that's always been my preference. And I always patronize Black businesses as much as I can. I mean, like, y'all know, like, one of my favorite places to go is this place called the Red Flavor Table in Inglewood, California. They also have one in LA. They have the best New Orleans food, breakfast food, and they serve big portions. And, you know, I mean, I go out of my way. I was so glad that when this stuff happened, that a lot of the Black businesses are now on, you know, restaurants on DoorDash and Uber Eats, so we can continue to patronize them. There's one that's like not too far from me that even during COVID, when people could only, you know, get it out, had a line around the corner. Hell yeah, we should be doing that. Let me see. Let's see. Exactly. You're right about that. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. That in years past, we did have businesses in our own communities. Before the Watts riots, there were businesses in Watts that were Black owned. There are businesses in Los Angeles that are Black owned in Black parts of town. Like, you go over to the east side, to what they consider the east side of LA, and I'm not talking about East LA, I'm talking about the east side of South Central. You know, Main Street. There were thriving Black businesses in that part of town. That part of town was they had, you know, people own their houses and everything. Now that part of town is stricken with poverty. And like, I'll say like the high school that my ex-husband went to, that went to a state championship. I think they won a state championship from LA. When in the 70s was a predominantly black school, is now a predominantly Latino school on the east side. You know, I'm talking about places where you have like the rolling 20s and all these, where these gangs are and everything. Those used to be areas that were thriving in Los Angeles with black owned businesses that no longer exist. Because eventually we stopped supporting our black businesses. And I see nothing wrong with us supporting them, especially right now. Especially if they're in our communities. I talked about this before. The owners of the businesses in the community, in the black communities, should be black people. What is wrong with us? Why don't we own those businesses? And then we have no reason to complain when someone who is Asian owns the liquor store. Because what we don't know is that they get a group of them together. Same thing in the Latino community. They get a group of them together when they buy homes and stuff. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've been working in real estate lending. I mean, now I'm not on the real estate lending side, but when I was, I saw it all the time. We got to do better. You know, it's not just about Black Lives Matter to everybody else. They got to start mattering to us. We got to unify ourselves. They destroyed the black family. We have to restore it. And we have to restore to the real type of mentality and get rid of this freaking plantation mentality that so many of our black people in this country have. And the ones over in Africa, they on that colonization tip. It's not much better. It really isn't. Because they somehow believe they're better than us. No, you're not. Get over it. You're not. We went through far worse than you. Sorry, not sorry. It's the truth. Your ancestors sold us off to these people. So excuse me if we look at you crazy when you looking down on us and thinking we should get over it. Why the F should we? This is a righteous indignity. And y'all don't understand it. This is a righteous indignity. Yeah, you're right, Terry. We need to, like, why does it take gentrification for the inner city to look better? Why can't it look better while we there? Why can't we do that stuff? You go places where there's a bunch of Latinos and they will build up what they need. They will make it happen. Have we lost that spirit? Because I'm telling you, that's what we need. We're going to need to do that. If we are serious about ending the way that we are policed, then we're going to have to do some serious things within our own communities. And be unified on this stuff. For real, for real. I'm tired of seeing Black young men dying. I'm tired of it. It hurts my heart, y'all. Hey, Marilyn. It hurts my heart. You see what you're saying, Miss Mahogany? Really? Wow. You see? We can't even leave generational wealth to our children because they kill them before they can inherit it. You see? One of the hardest things to deal. Really? Let me see what you said, Mahogany. Wow, what happened? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's where we are. And here's the thing. That's where most of the world is. They tired of seeing Black Americans treated like this, going through this. They tired of watching us being systematically exterminated. Hey, you. They tired. And it's about time that everybody else is tired. It's about time that everybody else is tired. It's sad that it took George Floyd. It's sad that it took that long. It's sad that it took till 2020. It's sad that it didn't happen back in 92 with Rodney King. It's sad that when LA was burning, when the city was on fire, that the world didn't wake up. It's sad when all of that stuff went down in Detroit, you know, that they portrayed in that movie that, y'all, every time I look at that movie about what happened to those officers, Black officers, through their own police department in Detroit, the corruption, it's sick. Hey, Angel. Wait a minute, what? He was mysteriously found dead. Yeah, that's just like this young man who was found hanging from a tree that they're saying hung himself. I call BS. He did not hang himself. That's not what happened. That's true. It has to be, everyone has to, it has to be the same agenda. And it's not just, it doesn't just stop at Black Lives Mattering. You know, now that we make them matter, now what? Because right now they don't matter to police departments, clearly. In the middle of all that's going on, they are still killing our Black men. It pisses me off. But I know I've been on here for over an hour. I know y'all in the chat, but y'all know, those who saw me earlier, this is my second time on today. Let me come on so y'all can see me again. Wait 1 second. Let me see if I can take that off. All right, there we go. Hey everyone. Oh, David wants to come over and say hi. Let me move over because you know what happens if I don't. Come on, sit down, sit down. Thank you. Say hi.
Yeah, hi.
Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, YouTube.
On YouTube. YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay. There you go. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to say hi to y'all. All right, you guys. Thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for hanging out the whole time. I appreciate it. For those who did not see my video earlier today, go to my community tab and you can click on it there because it still says it's processing. But if you click on it through the community tab, you will be able to go and look at the live stream from earlier today. And if y'all want to see me feeling myself, go look at me on my YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe to my IG. Go to my IG and subscribe to my IG. DCThePurpleDiva. All right, you guys, I will see y'all tomorrow. But until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you guys for coming through. I might pop up during the day again tomorrow. That was fun. So I might try tomorrow. But I'm just make sure that if I have on the headset, that I'll make sure that it's not popping in and out. We'll figure it out. But I'll make sure that I won't be popping in and out if I come on during the day. All right. Bye, everybody.